Hi, everyone. We have another guest on board today, and her name is Jillian. And Jillian's been doing wonderful inside the program. And I brought her on today because she's not only seen physical changes, but her mindset is shifting. She's finally, for once, seeing the differences in terms of her perspective when it comes to fitness. She's actually enjoying the process. And yeah, I just want to bring her on and just have a conversation with her. So, welcome in, Jillian.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jillian, where are you from yourself? And how did we meet?
Uh, yes, I'm born and raised in Hawaii. I'm on the island of Oahu, and I found Adrian and the Meraki Fitness on Instagram. It popped up on an ad, and it kept popping up, and I was like, okay, I think this is a sign. Like, we gotta take a look further into this.
Love it. Love it. And just curious to know what resonated with you with my content or that ad that you saw.
I think for me, it was the right time and the right place. Especially for me, I work a lot, long hours, and just busy all the time, but I wanted to do something for myself. And there's some content in those ads that touched upon that. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. See what
Hmm.
it's about.
Nice. Nice. Okay. It's good we met because you definitely are going through some great changes, Jillian. That's for sure. Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, tell me like where were you with your health and fitness before we met?
Good question. So quite honestly, I have a desk job. It's Monday through Friday. And so it's very sedentary. Is that the word?
Yep.
Sedentary,
Yep.
like seated, not very much exercise and whatnot. I'm not much of a gym person per se, but I do go to yoga, hiking, and all that good stuff when
Yep.
I have time. So activity levels were very low. And I noticed that as a foodie, inside and outside of work, it was really affecting my health internally. I've always felt bloated. My clothes wasn't fitting right. I'm like, it's not going in the direction that I want it to be. I knew I had to do something. My physician or internal medicine doctor told me that I just got to Google my own options. I'm like, Google, like I need somebody to help me with nutrition. I need somebody to help me with fitness. I need somebody to keep me accountable. And the answer was go Google. And I'm like, that to me, that wasn't enough. And so finding Adrian in this process has really made that connection just come together.
Mm. Well, once again, it's great to meet you, but I'm also sorry to hear about that experience you had, and I'm sure a lot of people listening probably encountered the same experience with their physician. How long ago was this when you had this conversation with the physician?
I recently had this about a year ago, but it's been an ongoing conversation from previous years before. It was a lot of, oh, just eat better and exercise more. I'm like, it's more than that though. There's a lot more to it than that, and I needed that guidance and that structure, and that's what Meraki has been able to do for me.
I'm very glad to hear. So, what did you try yourself again, Jillian? Like right after you had that conversation, or those couple conversations with your physician, what have you tried yourself, and what wasn't really working doing it on your own?
Quite honestly, it felt hopeless, honestly. I've tried all the fad diets, whatever you can think of. Keto, Atkins diet. It's good for a moment, but I didn't know how to maintain that. And so that was kind of where that mental shift had to take into play for the long run there.
Mhm. Mm. So going over that, you mentioned like it works short term, but then long term it didn't work out. Like tell me a little bit more, like why was that with these specific diets?
I think it's good for what it is in that moment, a couple months or whatnot. But for the long run, I don't think I can be on those kinds of diets for years and years at a time. It's not sustainable or able to be maintained, especially in my work environment and my social life. And so I just knew that I had to find another option that was long term.
Yep, 100%. So just going over what you mentioned earlier, you're a foodie, Jillian. I remember the first time we chatted, and same as me. Like I enjoy a lot of foods. I'm a big Asian foodie, right? And I know we relate in that same sense. Now, tell me, like, how has this changed for you? Like finding out about flexible dieting, learning from me, right? How has that changed just like your perspective on dieting down, toning up, losing weight relative to what you done before?
Um, Good question. So I noticed that when I go out to eat, especially at restaurants or places that I can't necessarily control the food that's being prepared, I make conscious choices now in terms of what I'm eating, whether it's portion sizes or even the selections that I'm making. I'm avoiding fried foods. I'm avoiding extra sugary things and things that just don't make me feel okay, if that
Yep.
makes sense. It's a little bit more conscious eating,
Mhm.
especially when I'm outside of my controlled environment. But I've definitely seen a shift in the way that I feel and the way that it makes me feel. I definitely feel like I have more energy now that I'm eating better.
Nice, nice. And that's great. For everyone listening, like Jillian's a foodie and like learning about flexible dieting and just learning about the healthier lifestyle, like consciously, she's actually been able to already make the changes. And I know like that's probably surprised. I know we had the conversation last time, Jillian, like you were surprised yourself. You know, you thought it would be, very challenging to get away from all the foods you enjoy, but now because you're seeing results and like you're starting to live that fitness lifestyle, right? You're just consciously not choosing those and you don't feel like you need it, right?
Exactly. Yes.
That's great. Awesome. Now, just like inside the program, for the listeners here and the viewers, you are still able to eat the foods you enjoy time to time. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And so during the week, there are times when I go out to entertain clients or friends and family, and I'll make a shift in my day to day, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So in the beginning parts of the day, I'll maybe eat not so much calorie count wise and figure out my macros and all those numbers so that I can eat a fuller meal or whatever I want in the evening time. For example, the other day I had pizza and that's full of cheese, carbs, and good stuff, right? But I was still able to maintain within my
Yep.
nutritional counts. And so
Nice.
that's something that I've never been able to do before. And so you surprise yourself, right?
Yep.
You Yeah.
Hmm. I'm very happy to hear. Okay, so everyone that's listening right now, Jillian's been able to just make like just seeing progress and getting progress. She's been able to just naturally make better choices. It wasn't forceful like before. She's living a healthier lifestyle. That's number one. Number two, like she just had like pizzas, like not all the time, of course, but she's been able to still enjoy the good carbs and those foods. But now she has a strategy and a system where she could fit it in. And you don't feel guilty or anything eating like the pizza and stuff. You just feel like it's part of the process. You could treat yourself. Is that right?
Yes,
Wonderful.
definitely.
Would you say before meeting me, like, did you have that like a dichotomy or having that difficulty with fitting these foods and you felt like maybe, Adrian, if I eat these foods, I feel guilty. It's breaking my diet. Would you say so?
Yes, it honestly felt like a black hole of doom, and it just kept spiraling, and I knew I had to stop that and re-engineer and revamp that. So yeah.
I'm very glad to hear, and it truly is life changing learning about flexible dieting. Like ever since I discovered about this as well, I've been implementing it. It's the only way to really get results for fitness and still have that balance with the foods we want, Jillian. So I'm very happy that you learned this method, you're executing it well as well. So perfect job. Okay. I know we talked last time, Jillian. You mentioned you really enjoyed my guide section. I want to just kind of touch base on this really briefly. Can you talk a little bit more about this?
Oh, yes. So there's a Facebook VIP page that all of us are in. It's kind of like a support group where we talk about our day and what we're eating and what our challenges are and whatnot. So that's been a great vessel for expressing how we're feeling through this program. But even within that group, there's also guides where there's videos and content, whether it's presentations with people that have been interviewed previously or even guest speakers that come on, whether they're fitness trainers or other dietary nutritional specialists in the industry. They talk about different topics, and there's a whole wide range of guides from mindset to
Yep.
nutrition to exercise. And honestly, I did not expect this. Like to me, I thought this program was going to be food and exercise and being on that. And then this whole extra added part came in. I'm like, okay, this is a program because for me, I'm very checklist or like check it off your list, detail oriented type of person. So you go at your own pace with these
Yep.
guides. You can do it when you wake up in the morning, on your way to work, in between breaks and whatnot. It's like 20 to 30 minutes at a time. So it's not like a whole full hour, half long, piece by piece. So you can take it at your own time, but definitely those guides are very life changing, and
Yep.
it really gets you to think about the deeper aspect of this whole process.
Yep. And exactly the purpose of that is explaining the why behind everything, right? If I can, it's almost like that saying, instead of just giving the fish to you, I want to teach you how to fish, right? If you can learn those skills and, increase the fitness IQ, like these are all tools, Jillian, that once you graduate from the program, you're going to be able to take it with you. And for the rest of your life, you're like, oh, I remember what I learned from Adrian in this, or I remember what I learned from Adrian in this. And that's truly life changing because it's easy to just be like, oh, let's cut out carbs, do keto, right? And not even know the actual benefits or repercussions of doing keto, right? And I'm very, very glad to hear this. And that's why I want to bring you on this chat. That was one big reason. I was really happy when you were telling me that last time, Jillian. It was the same timing. Some other people were telling me the same thing as well. So kudos to you for watching the videos. Keep on watching them, and I'm glad it's really having that impact on you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome. So I know you went to Hawaii. So this is another thing I want to bring up. So Jillian joined the team. She took action, right? At first, she was like, her only obstacle was she was actually going to travel. It was Japan, right? You went to Japan.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people, Jillian, that are kind of like on the fence that I speak with, right? They're like, oh, I got this, I got that. Jillian traveled right when she joined the program. And I was like, look, like you need to do it. And she knew it as well, but she was like, I'm going to do it, but I'm just going to travel. I'm not going to come back. So I want to touch on this one really quick. What's your advice for people that are like really content and just like the way they are, like, there's nothing wrong, but just in terms of taking too long to make a move, especially the right move into something positive like their health and fitness. Like, what's your advice for these individuals?
You just got to do it, honestly. Like whatever fear that you have or whatever qualms that you have, honestly, the hardest part is doing it. And you
Yep.
just got to take that jump and take that leap and trust that this process works. I did go on a trip. I didn't gain any weight during the trip, and which was amazing.
That's what I promised
Like
you when
usually
you
I
joined the
gain
team.
like 5, 10 pounds, right? But
Yep.
it's like I was able to still keep it under control. And then once we're back in the regular hometown, then it just goes off from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly everything that I said, like we've been able to create, Jillian. I was like, you got to do it now because your program's not going to start till you come back from Japan. But I can guarantee you, I can give you some advice and tips that sometimes that one or two tips that already gives you a big jump ahead. And it's very evident you've been able to keep that weight off, which is perfect. So yeah, like even myself, guys, like I had a fitness coach last year. I had a personal trainer before as well. If you're not where you want to be, a lot of time you can be frustrated, you can get down on yourself. When we look at it from an analytical standpoint, Jillian and everyone else, it's just the information gap. You just don't know as much as some people that are succeeding. And we can get mad about it, we can get frustrated, but ultimately the power is in your hands to get some help and reach out for help. Okay, so good job. Good job with that. Now, let's tell the viewers you came back from Japan, and I think it was within 4 or 5 weeks. Tell us your results when you came back from your trip.
Oh yeah. Coming back from the trip, we had our first call together officially,
Yep.
in which we went through our game plan, our meal plan, our workout plan, and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
I got set up on the app, and it was go time. The
Love it.
first couple weeks, not gonna lie, struggle, because for me, it's like going from eating whatever you want to, okay, this is what I can eat now, but know that this is not forever. It's just for now until we figure out what's a good happy medium, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And so the first 2 weeks really struggled. But once I started seeing the number on this, I know this is bad, but like when I see the number go down in the scale, I'm like, okay, it's never gone down this much before. So this something's working here. So it just keeps motivating you, like when you start feeling better, if your clothes fit better, or just little wins, you just got to celebrate the little wins. And that, for me, that keeps motivating me. Like I got to keep going. Like this is not going to stop. Like we're just going to keep going and see
Yep.
how far it takes us.
Yep. Yep, when you're in momentum, just let that big rock keep rolling. The momentum's going to bring you forward. So tell the viewers, like in 4 or 5 weeks, like how much weight did you lose?
I lost 10 pounds at least. And that is something that I've never been able to lose in the past 15 years.
Oh
And so
wow.
I'm like, this is wild, like wild.
Jillian, I'm so happy you're bringing such a big smile on my face because I could feel your excitement, and I'm so happy that you finally almost found that key to that door that's been closed for 15 years. And being able to just show you flexible dieting and show you what I know, I can really hear that it's been life changing and it's really had this positive impact. And that switch for you happened. That's really good. Makes me very happy to hear this. Okay. Do you think what I'm teaching you can really just carry on for the rest of your life? The
Oh,
strategy,
for
the
sure.
goals.
Yeah, for sure. And the great thing I like about you, Adrian, is that you push, but you're not too pushy, if that makes sense. Like I've had some people in my life where they're like, "Do you want to lose weight? Don't eat that. What are you doing?" Like that's not my style, but the way that you motivate and push people is enough to
Mm,
get you going, you know?
I'm glad to hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right. Perfect. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And the most important thing is you and everyone else I'm helping. So I'm glad to hear it's the right amount of push. Awesome. Okay, so as we finish up here, any recommendations for individuals maybe that were maybe in your shoes before? They're same thing. Maybe they talked to a physician and they're still maybe right now Googling things. They're lost, they're frustrated, they're in the brink of giving up, Jillian. Right? What is your recommendation for them based on what you learned from me, the results you already achieved?
Stop Googling, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of content on Google, but you can't really tell what's right and what's wrong. And it's just, it's frustrating to say the least, right? But if you come with Adrian or Meraki Fitness program, you'll have that structure, you'll have that base for you to have all those things in place. You don't have to keep looking about, oh, is this correct or whatnot. But like, I mean, honestly, you gotta just take the jump. Like, what is holding you back? That's the question. What is holding you back? If you want to do it, do it. But if you don't, why don't you want to do it? So that's kind of where I'm at.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, everyone. Hopefully, you guys got value. And Jillian, that was a great, great, great chat. Thank you for coming in once again. And for anyone else, if you guys got value from today, subscribe to my YouTube. Fill the link on my front bow if you want to hear more about Meraki or send me a message saying tone. And besides from that, thank you, Jillian. Thanks for coming in and keep on crushing it. The sky's the limit for you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Bye bye.
Take care.